Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It's your boys. It's your boys. The podcasting beast, the reigning, defending podcasting champion of the world, freshly squeezed. Doc, the God, always tranquilo. Doc L. E. Dillo, and I am the Professor John Guy, the King of RNG, the Troll Master Data Analyzing Ninja, the Conqueror of my own fate, the Terminator, hence Zeklina, best podcasting machine, least hype machine, Doc. Whoo! We got out of the darkness. We're back into the light, talking sports today. And I just want to start off with this one thing. Apparently, the madness is happening in the NCAA. And no, I don't mean for men's basketball. It's been announced today that the ladies of the collegiate level will be able to call their March tournament, March Madness. Doc, I didn't even know that. I just called March Madness for both.
I thought it was just March Madness.
But now they can use the brand name. It's a brand name,
generic,
Doc.
I mean, I don't even know what they were calling it.
They didn't. They probably just called it the tournament.
That's interesting. No, I didn't know that, and that goes more to say with what we've been talking about as far as equality, which is ridiculous.
Ridiculous, NCAA. Get your stuff together. Seriously. But Doc, there were news around the league and the association. Let's catch people up.
Miguel Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. agrees to a 5-year, $207 million extension with the Denver Nuggets. 207. He will, of course, get. He hit the $207 million number. If you make that all NBA, I guess all NBA team at least once. I guess something like that. That's what separates the 172 from the 207. So I guess if he gets the All-Star nod, he'll get the 207. If not, then it'll max out at that 172. So we'll see what happens here. But it's one of those things. I think he's one of the first to be handed the max in that particular class. Obviously, we got Luka Doncic, which we know. Trae Young, we know. Only person we don't know, and I believe he should, is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
He will.
I believe he should.
I think.
Then again,
will.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's going to be with the Thunder.
And that was my next part. It's like I don't know. Because you just never know what the Thunder are really doing, like what their actual plan is moving forward. And who knows? Maybe he'll be in a deal for Ben Simmons.
Oh, we're not gonna jump on that mountain anytime soon, there, boyo.
Yeah, because you already know. I don't know. That's not going to end well. That's not going to end well at all.
No, it's not. No, and now it's becoming a circus.
Big time. We're on Ben Simmons' watch. That's pretty much what it is. Because it's like now we're talking about people going to his house, similar to
DeAndre Jordan.
Yes. Oh my God, the famous lock-in. We're not letting you out of here until you resign.
The famous sleepover.
Right, but Ben Simmons was like, "I'm not even letting you in the gate." But that's awesome. But yeah, that's the basketball news. I did see an interesting post earlier stating that only Chris Paul is the only person not on the same team. I believe it was from the 2013 NBA All-Star teams. Like All of the other 2013 All Stars from those particular teams are on the Lakers or the Nets. That's so
Sad.
mind-boggling and
That is
sad.
sad.
But Chris Paul is the only lone person out. Um, it's going to be an interesting
So
season to
basically,
say the
there's
least.
no excuses then.
There should be none, but of course there will be, and you just have to prepare yourself for them. Prepare yourself. Darkness is coming, everybody. Darkness.
Yes.
Um, but let's move on to the NFL there, boyo. A lot of news coming out from the gridiron, and I don't mean the gang. Uh, big hit, which I watched several times before the show. Big hit on Devante Adams. You were really, really animated here about how you were so. Well, I think there was a call before this that was called against the Packers, and then there was this no call. Is that correct?
It was actually the opposite. So first
Okay.
of all, the officiating during that Sunday night game was buns. It was horrible. It was really, really,
Mm,
really, really bad. And that's me saying that, folks. I don't say that often. NBA, I will say that till the cows come home. NFL, not so much. Okay, you may have one or there were some really, really bad calls.
mm.
The targeting of the head hitting a defensive player to Devante Adams was so blatantly obvious.
W-
I don't know. I
What
don't know why they didn't
was
do
it
a
though?
second. Yes, it wasn't. It wasn't an intentional hit to the head,
Yeah, I mean, I don't
but
know. Carry
but
on.
where he got hit at was pretty darn obvious.
It was close, but I would say no cigar. I'm gonna
Well, and
disagree.
I
I
think
mean,
it always comes back to you know how do they call those kind of things? Because if it's a quarterback, like immediately don't flags.
so I think, yeah, oh yeah, big time as a quarterback. And honestly, I think usually there are a lot of overreactions to these type of hits, And I mean, I have a still of it, and you can see. Of course, this will be the thumbnail for today's
Of
show,
course.
right?
Oh no, I don't know. That should be the thumbnail.
Nah, it's gonna be the thumbnail for
Oh
today's
boy.
show. That way, that people can debate. But I mean, you can see the defender, Mr. Ward, Jimmy Ward, the safety or
Yep.
cornerback Jimmy Ward. I thought he was a
Yes,
safety, but
cornerbacks.
they haven't listed quarterback. I thought he was safety, but nonetheless, doesn't matter. Um, Leading with the shoulder into the chest. I mean, it just so happens that Devontae's, head is going down, but I mean, he's leading with the shoulder. I will say that.
And I
Um,
agree with you with that.
Yeah, he's leading with the shoulder, so I think that's why they don't throw the flag. Now, the referee behind them clearly could have threw the flag just on the fact that just on the strength of how the play looked.
Hmm.
And I'm glad that that referee held off because obviously another referee would have had a better angle. But just looking at it again, yeah, I think it's more dramatic because of the aftermath.
And the aftermath for me was they called roughing the passer against the Packers.
And you felt that was a makeup call.
And no, no, no. A makeup call would have been a call for the Packers.
Hmm. Oh, it was
It was
against.
against the Packers. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So normally I would say, yeah, that's a no. This was not a makeup call. But
But I don't think you were thinking about. You weren't really saying helmet to helmet at first. I think a lot of people you were saying defenseless receiver.
and that's what I was saying, defensive receiver,
Yeah,
because he was
initially.
on his way down. He was on his
Oh,
way down. Like, and this is where that whole cloudiness of that rule comes into play because he was going for the ball dropped, and he's on his way down. And as he's on his way down, that's when he got hit.
now I will say they could have hit him with possibly unnecessary roughness or something. I don't know if that counts.
Well, that would be underneath the umbrella of unnecessary roughness.
Only reason I say that is because it was clear that he missed the catch.
Yes.
And I know he couldn't let up, but I mean that was pretty clear that he missed the catch. That's the only thing I
Hmm.
will say about that. But you be the judge, ladies and gentlemen. Hit fair or foul? Should have been called the flag. I mean, obviously referees are under scrutiny every single week. Um, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But in a more not so positive news, but just in NFL news, period. Richard Sherman joins the Bucs 1 year deal after the Bucs lose multiple corners to injury, some long term, some short term, but they bring in the veteran, um, and I'm pretty happy about it, Johnny.
Yeah, you called this one too.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy about it. I didn't know when they were going to go ahead and bring in a veteran, but I'm kind of glad that they did. I think that's the only group that there is no veteran presence. I think every other group, wide receivers, running backs, linemen, like everybody else has a veteran to help with the young guys. Obviously, like your linebackers, right? You got Levante David working with the young guys. Your defensive line, you got Endamic and Sue, you got JPP working with the young guys. So it's like that's where I felt the Bucks' shortcoming was defensive backs. They didn't have any
Uh,
veteran guidance,
yes.
but we'll see how that shapes out for the
Well, I mean,
Bucks.
who knows? Maybe the Bucks will give Revis Island a call.
No, we already been down that road. Yeah, we already been down that road.
I know. I know.
Hopefully this doesn't turn into another Reeves Island because Reeves Island in Tampa was no good. It was
It
actually
was no
overtaken
good
by
whatsoever. I mean, and granted,
overtaken
it
by
could be
Pirates.
different with the different scheme, but
No, no.
Doc said no, he doesn't want. He said
So
the
here we
island
go.
needs to stay close.
Yeah. In other news, Marlon Mack and the Indianapolis Colts are mutually agreeing to seek a trade. I hate these kind of articles. I really do. I hate anything, any trade talk in the news. I hate like keep it a secret.
Yes,
Like keep it under
keep it
wraps. Like
keep it internal until you actually make the deal.
please, because this lowers the value of the trade. Like I mean, some people still gonna say, "Hey, I want Marlon Mack on my team. I'll give you a second, third round pick for him and call it a day." But other people are like, "Well, if both of you don't want to be with each other, then I'll give you a
Then
fourth
I mean,
or
I could
fifth
give
round
you
pick.
like a 6th round pick for him or something. Like,
I'll give you a turkey and cheese sandwich,"
yikes.
which is exactly what happens to the Lions, right? And Jamie Collins, like they put it out there, like, "Hey, we're gonna explore a trade." Of course, everybody knows that they're is unhappy, and now look, they had to release him.
Yikes.
Which I don't understand. I mean, to me, it's like you have this person and they're under contract. I mean, why not just let them play? Like, just keep. I mean, they're gonna be professional, right? They're gonna still play. They're not gonna ruin their own
Oh, no, of course
value.
not. Of course not.
So to me, it's like just let them play. But I mean, that's my opinion. I mean, I probably wouldn't have let them go, but now some team is about to get richer.
Yep.
Um, I'm trying to see if there's any teams out here that,
Can
you
use a
know,
good linebacker presence.
I mean, obviously, you always have his return to the New England Patriots,
I was gonna say that actually.
of course. You also have Brian Flores in Miami,
Miami.
since
Yep.
you have this team. This article, Yahoo Sports has the Denver Broncos, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the last two teams here, which could be really big for both teams, one more than the other, but he could always join that young, hungry Rams team, which would
This
be
is true.
sick. Or another New Englandite, he can go to the New York Football Giants and join Mr. Judge.
I'll also throw in the Seahawks as another
Seahawks.
potential.
Seahawks. And I mean, of course, you know, of course, we can't go without saying them boys.
I actually think they don't need a linebacker. I think
They don't.
that's their strongest position.
Well, maybe they would since they did lose a linebacker to injury. So maybe.
No, that was Demarcus Lawrence.
I mean, he's technically a linebacker.
Yeah, but they
Technically.
have him play lineman.
Jamie Collins can rush though.
He can.
He's not the best rusher, but he can always join the Ravens also.
He
That's the other
could.
another team, I would throw in there. But I mean, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Obviously, we have power rankings to get to, and hopefully, one of these top teams might say, "Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and bring in Jamie Collins." Actually, before we do
Actually,
that,
speaking of which, the Packers
we the
would be a
Packers, yeah, 'cause
great one.
yeah, that would be a good one. And I almost forgot two things here really quickly.
Sure.
Um, Flash, oh, that's your line, Mister Josh Gordon, reinstated by the NFL, signs with the Chiefs. This is shortly after we heard the news that Andy Reid
Folks,
had
real
been
quickly, like Doc should automatically get a tech for the T-shirt that he's wearing today. Okay.
Oh, really? This one?
No, no,
Oh,
I just throwing it out there. No, it's actually pretty boss. I just want the people to know that he's wearing the man, the myth, the legend, El Eden.
wow. I found this at Old Navy.
Shouts to, well, we can't do that because they don't
Yeah,
pay
yeah,
us. But
yeah.
yes,
They
let's
don't
get
pay
to
us.
these power rankings.
Yes.
Biggest drop that we've seen are the Seattle Seahawks. Actually, it's two of them: the Seattle Seahawks and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Mm.
Seattle dropping out of the top 10, Steelers dropping to number 20.
Hmm.
The
Which,
Seahawks defense is really, really bad.
but
I
they're really talking. I mean, they're talking really bad about number one, Ben Roethlisberger, and then obviously, like you said, that Legion of Boom is not booming. It's
Oh, it
Legion of.
hasn't been a Legion of Boom for several years.
Well,
Now it's just
I
a new
think they
order.
let. I think they lost too many people, and this
Oh, they lost too
could
many
be
people. They burnt bridges too, which didn't help.
I mean, what I'm thinking is all really might come down to Russell Wilson, who obviously, he gets paid the big bucks. And I know a lot of people talk negatively about him and his particular, wanting to get paid over being a team player. And we talked about this in the past with people like Dirk Nowitzki. We talk about it with like, Tom Brady. We talk about it with a lot of different players who, you know, took pay cuts
Yep.
to number one, stay with their team and make sure that the team is cap flexible and not in that cap hell. But
Hi, Saints.
right, exactly. But when you look at, the top teams, outside of maybe Green Bay and Baltimore is pretty strapped too. But outside of those teams, I mean, most of the teams up there are still pretty flexible. They don't have too many teams with like players like dominating their cap.
Yep.
Um, but really, it's just come down to these top 10 teams, their systems are working. Obviously, the Bucs lost to the Rams, but that Rams defense is pretty tough.
I was gonna say that, and I don't think I mind seeing the Bucks only drop one slot. To be honest with you,
I mean, I don't know. I
I
would
was
I don't
waiting
know.
for the. I was waiting
Yeah.
for him, folks. I
Yeah,
was
I didn't even
waiting for him.
listen. I didn't even tune into that game because I was so over football at that particular time. I just knew we
But
were gonna get
let's
clapped
go
up.
through the list real quickly. Doc mentioned it. At number one, we have the Los Angeles Rams. Number two, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Sure.
Number three, we have the Green Bay Packers going up three slots from last week into the
Great,
top five, into the top
gr-
three.
great end of game win.
Yep.
30 something
Mason
seconds.
Crosby.
Yeah.
Just the end of game sequence was
Mm-hmm.
wild.
Mm-hmm.
At number 4, we have the Buffalo Bills going up one rank. Last week was
Great
number
win against the
5.
football team.
Yeah. Yeah. A team that was supposed to have a stout defense themselves, and they just got slugged in the mouth. Really, really
Mm-hmm.
bad. At number
Let's talk
5, we
about
have the
number.
Baltimore Ravens going down 2 slots.
So let's talk about that really quickly. That makes sense because I mean, and we talked about the Detroit Lions being a team that's on the cusp
Hmm.
of making noise. But I think the Ravens dropped 2 points here because the game was so close.
It was ridiculously close.
Yeah, yeah. So
Hollywood
I find that to
Brown
be
dropped
interesting.
3 touchdown potential passes. You just can't do
Mm,
that. You
can't do
just
it.
can't do that.
Can't do
Of
it.
course, I mean, I'm always going to still talk about my boy Justin Tucker.
Right.
Like,
66 yards is no,
like you
that's
can't just glaze over that.
no, you can't. You can't. You can't do that. Can't teach that either.
But he did also miss a kick too, which was just out of character of him during that
He's a
game.
bum. Oh my God, he's a bum.
See, and that's Doc saying that, folks. Number 6, dropping 4 slots out of the top 5, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. They got punched in the mouth.
Yeah, it was looking pretty bad for
The
the.
score doesn't reflect the pace of the game, folks. As
Yeah, it
Doc
was
like
looking
to
pretty
say.
bad for the AFC. Yeah, AFC champs. Yeah, it's looking pretty bad. But I feel like they're gonna rebound. I don't know
I think they
when, but
will. I think they will. Of course, we're sending our well wishes to Andy Reid, though, because he did fall ill after the game and was rushed to the local hospital.
hmm
But at number 7, staying at number 7, we have the San Francisco 49ers.
which is good. I mean, they lost
They
again
lost to a really good team.
at the end, so
Yeah,
yeah.
like they kept it competitive. At number 8, staying at number 8, we have the Cleveland Browns. They beat up on a anemic offense driven Bears team. That's exactly what the score should have been.
I did see a lot of fire Matt Nagy post. I did see a lot like cut your losses while you can, get them out of there, get them out of there, and it's good time because you
It
just
is a good
started your
time.
new rookie. It's a good time. It's a
At
really
number
good time.
9, going up 2 slots, we have the Las Vegas Raiders. 3 and
I think
0
they should be
team.
higher.
I was going to ask you that. Should they be higher?
Yeah, I
But
think they should be higher.
I don't think they should because they haven't played the quality opponent yet.
I mean, they did though, didn't they?
Who?
The Raiders didn't the Raiders beat the Ravens? No.
Yes.
Yeah, they did. That's what I'm saying. I mean, they beat the Steelers. They beat the
Well, the
Ravens. Yeah,
Steelers
that's
are
what I was
number
saying.
12
Like,
now.
and then they beat the Dolphins. The Dolphins were higher at that time, but I mean, they beat the Ravens. I feel like they should be on top of the Ravens.
Yeah, we're going to still say that for most of the season, folks. That the Ravens are much higher than they should be. But they're finding a way to stay in that top 5, that top 10 area. And of course, rounding out the top 10, we have the Los Angeles Chargers with a big win with the reigning, defending, undisputed offensive rookie of the year, Justin Herbert, having a monster game. The Chargers defense having a monster game.
I just find it so hard because 11, 12, and 13 are all undefeated. And I know it's like who cares that they're undefeated, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like what are we going based off of? Is it going based off of who they played?
Oh, I'm sorry. What the comment I made about the Raiders, I actually meant for the Broncos. I'm sorry.
Broncos. Oh
It
yeah,
was the
yeah, yeah.
Broncos.
Yeah, because the Broncos are 3-0. They moved
Right.
up a slot. I think
Yeah.
everybody, and then the Cardinals moved down a slot, which is really crazy. But I guess again, it's a 31-19 win over the Jaguars. So I guess that's why they moved down. But that's not their fault that they played the Jaguars.
Nope. Just gotta play with the people in front of you, right?
But any other notable teams here? Obviously, we know the Vikings beat the Seahawks, so they moved up to 16, rightfully so.
Yep.
Um, Nothing else major happened. Obviously, the Eagles are on a decline, Patriots on a decline. I mean, Texans, Bears, all do Jets,
Nope.
Giants,
Nope.
Jacksonville.
Because NFC East outside of the Cowboys are just not good. I mean, NFC South, the bottom of that is owned by the Falcons, period. Like, obviously, they're probably looking to start tanking soon.
Tank City. I don't even know who's really coming out, but
I don't know either. Maybe the QB from Alabama is probably the person that they want.
mm, yikes. But I guess we'll have to wait till mañana to come back here and talk about Jacksonville versus Cincinnati, the preview Thursday night football.
Yes, sir.
But Johnny, I know that people came here and listen to our show on their favorite podcast platform. But if they didn't, they can always go to our website at www.debateamongstfriends.com to review this episode as well as all the previous. Be sure to tune in tomorrow as we go over the Thursday night preview between the Jags and the Bengals. But you'll also hear the news, the analysis, and the reads.
The man, the myth, the legend, El Ito.